Hello everyone, welcome to Unshackling Sudokus and Puzzles. Today's video is on a even sandwich Sudoku created by Ulrich Voigt. The name needs no introduction in the puzzling world. Multiple time world puzzle champion, 13 times if I'm not wrong, an excellent puzzle solver and a Sudoku solver as well. And this Sudoku was created by Ulrich for the offline finals of the German Sudoku Championship 2023. This was the last Sudoku in the finals, and this even sandwich Sudoku I found to be unlike any other I have seen previously. It was hard and there were many excellent tricks that one can learn through the Sudoku. So I thank the author for allowing me to make a video on this Sudoku. The link to solve this, if you want to give it a try, is in the description. So let's start the Sudoku now. Classic rules apply. So each row, each column and 3x3 box in the grid has digits 1 to 9 without any repetition. And then you have clues outside the grid. I'm reading the rules verbatim. Show all the digits that have even digits as neighbors on both sides in the corresponding row or column. Clues outside the grid are written in ascending order, which is not necessarily the order in which they appear in the grid. Okay, so to cite an example, you see outside column 3, there is a 3 clue given outside, which means that in this particular column, 3 is the only digit. Please see the emphasis on only. The only digit that is sandwiched by even digits in that column. So for example, if you consider the 3 occurs here, then you must have an even digit here and an even digit here, right? And you cannot have any other number which is sandwiched by even numbers. For example, let's say you have a 7 here, you cannot have anything of this sort, because then the clue would have been given outside, right? So basically all possible digits which are sandwiched by even neighbors are given outside the grid. And the vice versa is true. If you have a blank symbol, which it means that there is no such digit which is sandwiched by even digits in the respective row or column. So these are the rules. It's going to be an excellent solve. So please stay tuned. And if you haven't yet subscribed to the channel, please, this is your time. Go ahead and hit that subscribe button. So let's start the Sudoku now. So this Sudoku will involve some coloring of odd even. So let's just also have a surface tab, right? So the way to start this is by looking at these clues 4, 6, 2, 4, and you also have a 2, 4 here. So now in an even sandwich Sudoku, when you have 2 even digits given outside a particular row or column, then the 4 even digits in that row or column, there will always be 4 even digits in any row, in any column or any box of a grid. So they will occur in a sequence. So if you see this 24, and if you'll have, let's say, the even digit here starting here, then all 4 would be together this way. This is because you can not have an even digit, let's say here, and 3 other even digits occurring somewhere far from that, because that would violate the rule. You won't be able to sandwich both of these even digits by even digits again. So explaining that, so let's say you have a 2 here. Now 2 needs both of its neighbors as even digits, so we put an even here and an even here, right? The 2 can occur anywhere except the extreme cells, right? You can't have 2 on the extremes, because then it won't be sandwiched by an even number on one side. So 2 cannot occur on the extreme, nor can a 4 occur in the extreme, right? So let's say you have 2 anywhere in the grid. I'm anywhere in these 7 cells, I'm considering it here. If you have a 2 here, then both of these must be even digits, right? Now a 4 is also sandwiched by an even digit again. So which means it's clear that the 4 has to go either in this cell or this cell, because if you have anywhere else a 4, you won't have the other side sandwiched by an even digit. So clearly 4 is in one of these cells, and whichever side the 4 goes, you must have a 4 to the immediate adjacent cell. So let's say 4 is here, this becomes even cell, or if you consider that 4 is here, this becomes an even cell, this one, right? So when you see 2 even clues outside, This is what I was trying to say. The 4 even digits in that row or column will always be in a sequence. So this is a very basic step in this Sudoku. So now, if you, let's mark even digits using red maybe, and odd using blue, right? So if you have an even digit here, considering the column, these 4 will be even, and considering the row, these 4 will be even. This cannot happen because that gives you 5 even digits in box 1, right? So clearly this is not an even digit. That's odd. Let's use a blue here. Okay. The same thing happens at the bottom of the grid. If this is even, all these 4 would be even, and considering this clue, all these 4 would be even. So again, the same scenario, 5 evens in box 7, which can't happen. So this is also blue, right? It cannot be even. And now, regardless of which 4 digits are even, either this one or this way, this cell will always be even, because if you have an, let's say, odd here, no way on earth you can find 4 consecutive even digits. So this will always be an even. And now the second basic step in the Sudoku comes into play. Look at this clue. 1, 5 and 7. There are 3 odd digits, and they're all sandwiched by even neighbors. The only way is when you have evens in alternating cells, right? So what do I mean by that? Let's say you have a 1 in this cell, right? 1 here. Now 1 is sandwiched by even neighbors on both sides, so which means this is even, this is even. And now let's say I put a 5 somewhere here, so you will have an even here and even here. And now there is only one way for a cell left for the 7. 7 has to go here because it's sandwiched by both even cells. So now look at this sequence. There is an even, odd, even, odd, even, odd, and even. Or you can just visually try to see how things work when you have 3 odd digits. So 1 has to be sandwiched by 2 even digits. Imagine even digit occurring before 5 and 1 to the left of 5. Now 5 also has to be sandwiched by 2 even digits, which means it takes 1 cell to the left and 1 cell to the right. So that gives you 3 even digits, and 7 has to be sandwiched at the last, so 1 more even digit, right? So this 1, 5, 7 can occur in any order. So for example, you can also have 5 here, 1 here. So there is nothing mentioned about the order. These clues are just, arranged in ascending order. So when you have 3 odd digits, this is the next fundamental thing about this even sandwich Sudoku. There will always be even cells in alternating cells, and by alternating I mean not successive consecutive cells, but just one cell you have to leave in between. This pattern will always be followed, right? Having said that, now we know that this red cell is even, which we deduced just a few seconds back, and using the pattern that we just learned, so we can mark even in all these cells, and the rest are going to be odd, right? So this gives some information about what these cells are going to take. 1, 5, 7. Let's mark that in blue. 1, 5, 7, 1, 5, 7, 1, 5, 7. And these would be 3 and 9, the remaining 2 odds. Now you can see all these 3 digits are sandwiched by even clues in that row. Excellent. Okay, let's continue now. Okay, the next thing to see in this Sudoku is, look at this 2, 5 clue, right? It contains 1 even number and 1 odd number. So this is also an important pattern. Or before that, let's come to this one. This clue is even more powerful, the 6, 9 clue. This also has 1 even number and 1 odd number. So when you have such a case, imagine how the odds and evens will be stacked in that direction, right? The only way to stack them is you have 3 consecutive evens, then 1 odd, and then 1 even. Or you have an even at the top, followed by an odd, and then 3 consecutive evens. This is the only way when you have such a scenario. So how do I explain this? I would need to remove this color for now, just to explain how the things happen. Okay, look at column 5 and imagine that the column 5 has the 6, 9 clue. and let's just put 6 somewhere here, anywhere except the extreme cells. We'll consider 6 somewhere just for the sake of explanation. Now 6 needs to be sandwiched by 2 even numbers, right? Let's say we have an even here and an even here, right? Now we have already consumed 3 evens for the column. We have only one more even left. Now look at the 9th clue. The 9 is also sandwiched by 2 even numbers. And the only way that can happen is if the 9 takes one of these even digits as its, how do you say, border, and then one more even. So you can put either a 9 here. Of course, 9 can't go here because then you won't have a bordering cell as even. So 9 goes here and this becomes an even. Now, if you look at the pattern here, 3 evens are together and then one odd and then even. So 3 evens, 1 odd and 1 even. So when you have an even digit and an odd digit as the outside clues, there will always be 3 evens, 1 odd and 1 even, or the other way. So for example, I could have maybe put a 6 here, then these 3 would be evens. Now 9 must go here and this would be even. So this is another pattern. So basically you have here even, odd, even, even, even. So either 3 evens, 1 odd and then even, or even, odd and 3 evens. So this pattern will always follow when you have an even clue and an odd clue in the column, right? So one more thing that you can see here is in any, in a sequence of 5 cells, you had exactly 1 odd, right? Now, if you look at this column, replicate the same thing here. Any possible combination of 5 cells will always take this cell, right? Any possible combination. And we know that this contains an odd number. So we saw that out of those 5 cells, exactly 1 was odd. So which means, so we can reduce some more. It could be either this way, even, odd, even, even, even. This could be one of the ways, or let's use a capital letter now. Even, 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 odd and even, right? So these will be the only possible, one of these 2 patterns has to occur in the column. There is no other way. And you can see that the common thing in both of those is both of these cells must be even, right? Awesome. So we can use that to our advantage and mark both of these as even. Also, I'll remove those letters. Oops, how do I remove that? Okay, so these would have to be even. We've reduced that now. And we also saw that the extreme cells can never be touched by even, so those would have to be odd. That has to follow naturally. And then now look at these 24 clues. They are really constrained now. So this would have to be even and this would have to be even in row 1. This would have to be even and this would have to be even in row 9, because 4 consecutive even cells, and no matter which direction you take, these 2 and these 2 will be even. Okay, so this was also an even. At the start we had marked. Now let's think. Okay, so you have a cell which is surrounded by even cells, and that has to be a 6 or a 9. So this is automatically a 9. This would be a 3. Let's put a blue. Okay. So how do I continue here? Perhaps we can look at this and try to use the same logic maybe. Ah, nice. Look at column 4. 8 has to be either in this cell or this cell. Only possibility, right? Because 8 can't be here. And if you have 8 anywhere here, if you have 8 here, it is surrounded by an odd digit, not possible. So 8 could be here in any of these cells, but then it would require 2 more cells. So that would give you a total of 5 even digits in the column. Similarly, if you have an 8 here, you must have 2 even cells here. So that would give you a total of 5 even digits in that column. So clearly 8 is in one of these cells. which means you have 3 events already, and the 4th even is either in this cell or this cell, right? The 4th even. So clearly these two will always be odd. Very nice. Okay. Let me think here a bit. So can we think about this 7 clue here at this point? Okay, also I could do some more pencil marking stuff. 6 has to be either in this cell or this cell, right? Because 6 is also surrounded by even digits. You can't have 6 here or here, I mean this cell. You could have either the 6 here or here, only possibility. Okay. So I'm looking at the 7 now. So 7 could be here. 7 could be here. 7 can't be here in any of these cells. 7 could be here. 7 could be here. Okay. Ah, yes. What was I doing? So we know that the events in row 4 and row 9 are, enclosed in these, in between the blue cells. Naturally, this will definitely be an odd cell, right? Because the events are between those. So these will always be odd. So the moment you get that, you get further digits, right? You can't have 7, in these extreme cells. You can't have 7 in here. So 7 is either in this cell or this cell. Only possibility, right? Only 2 possibilities. So either this cell or this cell. No other cell can take the 7 because 7 is sandwiched by even digits. And which means if you have 7 here, you must have an even digit here. And if you have 7 here, you must have an even digit here. So for this box, as far as box 6 is concerned, you have 3 evens here. And 1 even is either going here or here, the 4th even. Which means these two has to be odd. A very interesting piece of logic. 5, 7. 1, 5, 7. All right. Okay, and now we know that if you see an even digit and odd digit, I said that the pattern of even, odd and 3 evens or 3 evens, odd and even will have to occur in the column. So which means you must have the 3 events either here or here, right? That's what we have deduced till now. All these 3 cells are even, or all these 3 cells are even. Okay. Let me think here. This requires again a brief thought. So I'm just thinking what happens if okay, so the one thing to observe here, so whichever side the 7 goes, it has to go along the direction of the along with the 3 events, right? I mean to say that wherever 7 occurs in the same box, the 3 events also occur. So how does it happen? It's difficult to see, but I'll explain. I'll use red color here. Let's say you have 7 here, right? You have the 7 here, so which means these 2 cells become even, right? And now for this box, you have 4 evens, so this will be odd, and which means these 2 will be even again, right? Now the moment this becomes 2 evens, you can't have again 3 evens in that box, right? Because there will be total of 5 evens, so 3 evens have to go here. So which means whichever box the 7 goes, it goes along with the 3 evens. The same thing occurs on the other side as well, right? but you will notice that this is not possible on the other side. And that's how the Sudoku continues. So this, according to me, is the toughest step in the Sudoku. Very difficult to see. And this took me a lot of time to see, but it is a wonderful, wonderful reduction. You can't have the 7 here. Let's see what happens. Let's put a green maybe. You have a 7 here. Both of these become evens, right? And now you have 4 evens in box 6. So this will be odd. And these two will be evens. Now the 3 evens in column 7 can't go here. So they would have to go here. So up until this point, there is no problem. And if you don't stop and probe deeper here, you might even miss this reduction and you will be stuck for eternity. So take your time to see why this isn't possible. So if you have found that, excellent. Reason is, look at this clue. If you have this scenario, there is a cell, this cell, right? Let's mark it in yellow. That is sandwiched by 2 even clues. But as per the given clues, there is no digit which is surrounded by even digits in that row. What a stunning reduction, right? What a stunning reduction, really. So this is kind of the major break-in in the Sudoku. Very, very tough to find. So if you have found this, then excellent. So which means you can't have the 7 here. 7 goes here. And now we get a host of coloring and digits. 7, right? So this is blue. And the remaining reds will be here. Right. Let's remove the stray pencil marks. Okay. This will be 1 and 5. That means there is a 7 in here. Okay. And now I know along the, in the same box as 7, the 3 evens must occur. So these will be 7s. And you can't have a 7 sandwiched by even digits because only 2 and 5 are sandwiched. So 7 goes here. So this will be a 1 and a 5. And 1 cannot be sandwiched by even digits, so that is a 5, that is a 1. Excellent, guys. So these 3 are all odd. And you have 5 odds in box 3, so these 2 are even. So just looking at that one reduction, all the 3 columns, last 3 columns has just imploded, you can see. Excellent, right? And now we have 4 evens, obtained 4 evens in column 8. So 6 can no more be in this cell. So 6 has to be here. This is a 6. These 2 are going to be odd. And let's remove the stray pencil mark. Okay. This is a blue, meaning it's odd. And now look at row 9. I have consecutive 4 evens. So which means this will be an even. This will be odd. And in row 1, the evens extend further to this direction. All right. And you can use row 2 even further. You can't have an even cell here because that would make a blue sandwiched by evens. That is a blue here. So we are using basically the vice versa to our advantage. And in row 4, 7 is sandwiched by even neighbors. So this is even. Excellent. Okay. And 9 is not, is not in these blue cells. So 9 goes here, which means these would be a 1, 3 and 5. And 7 in the column 8 must be here in odd cell, and 5 is not in these blue cells. So 5 goes here. So these will be a 1, 3 and 9. And these would have to be 2, 4, 8. Okay. Sudoku is going well. And in row 6, you have 5 sandwiched by even digits. So 5, this is an even. And now you have a blue cell in column 5, which is sandwiched by even cells. So it has to be 1 or a 5. Okay. This is odd, so this means it's 1, 3 or a 9. Okay, this particular cell in row 8 is sandwiched by even cell, and the only digit which is sandwiched by even cell is a 1. That's a 1, 3, 5, 3, 5. Okay, and 3 has to be sandwiched by even in that row. So this is not 3 because 7 is near to it. So 5, so 3. This would be 2, 4, 6, 8. So this would be 1, 5, 7. All right. So, okay, there is only one which is sandwiched by even. So if you have even here, this cannot be even. That's a blue. And in column 5, you can't have a blue cell sandwiched by even cells. So clearly this is blue. So you can't have a red here because that means an odd is sandwiched, or any digit for that matter becomes sandwiched. So this is a blue now. Similarly, I can't have a red cell here. So that is also blue because in column 5, you can't have even cells in alternating cells. Okay. Okay, so in box 5, there must be one even either here, the remaining even, or here. So, and that completes the quota of 4 even cells in column 5. So, which means this will have to be odd. Okay. Okay, 2, 4 is in between, sandwiched. The only way is to put 2, 4 here. It cannot be on the borders because that would put an odd near. This is the only way it can happen. So this has to be a 2 or a 4, right? You can't have 6 and 8 here. 6 and 8 will be the borders. 2 and 4. And 8 cannot be here because 8 is in one of these cells in column 4. So that is a 6, that is an 8. Awesome. And these would be 2, 4, and 6. Okay, so I need one more cell in column 6, which is sandwiched by even neighbors. So you have one already here. Where does the other one occur? It can either be between these two cells, or it can be between these two cells. Okay, both are possible. But we are sure that the other even must be here. So let's put an 8 here. 2, 4, 6 is going here. So 8 has to be here. Excellent. So if you put the odd here, this has to be the even. And if I put the odd here, this has to be the even. So one even has to be here for column 6. That removes 8 from here, giving 8 here, giving a red cell here, right? These are all blues. This will be 2, 4. There is no 8 here, so that is an 8. Wow, such a wonderful Sudoku, guys. Look how the Sudoku is very hard, but really kudos to the solvers who managed to finish this tough Sudoku. But if you know all the tricks that I cited, this should probably be a little easier to solve. Okay, now my 8 can't be here, has to be in row 1 in these two cells. What next? Okay, 1, 5, 7. I have a 5, 7 here, right? Okay, this will be 2, 4, and 6. 8 must be in one of these two cells. Okay. I'm looking at row 1 now, so I can't have even here, guys. That's a sharp reduction because already 4 evens are reduced in this box. These two will be odds. And now I know the pattern in row 1, so this will be even, and that gives me more info. This becomes 2, 4. This becomes an 8. This becomes a 6. let's remove this tray guy. So row 1 is done. Let's mark cells which are done by using green. Okay, in row 3 1 is sandwiched, and you must have one here and the other even here. No other possibility, right? It should be 2 4 because you already have 6 8 in here. So this is the only way by which you can sandwich 1. It's a simple enough step. And now you can use the vice versa rule. There is a cell which is sandwiched by even, and the only such cell is 9 in column 2. So this is 9. That's not 9. It's not 1. So that's a blue cell. Okay. Now if you look at column 3, there is a 3 clue which is sandwiched by even digits. Now just see where the 3 can go in that column. 3 can't be here, 3 can't be here, 3 can't be on an even cell, so 3 could be here, so 3 can't be here. Well, actually it could be there, sandwiched by even digits on either side, but for row 7 it becomes a contradiction. You must have both cells even, but this is blue, so 3 can't be here and 3 can't be here. The only cell that we deduced in column 3 for the 3 is this cell. 3 has to be here. That gives more info. Okay, now the only cell in row 7 for the 3 is can't be in any of these cells because it's sandwiched by even on either side. You can't have here, you can't have here, you can't have here, can't have an even cell, can't have on the extreme. The 3 has to be here, and which means that's a blue, that's red, and these two become a 1 9 pair for this one row, and this has to be even, and that has to be 8, which means this is odd. Okay, now we are getting lots of digits now. Okay, oops, that was even, right? So that is 246 246. This is even because 1 3 5 7 9 can't be there. It's an even digit, and in column 2 okay, still one even is left. It's about finishing things at this point. Right, these would be 3 5 7. Can't have 1 here because of this one, and 9 is also not possible. Box reduction, that's a 3, so that's a 1 9 1 9. This would be 5 or 7. Look at this 4 6 clue. There must be 4 consecutive evens. This automatically becomes an even, and this, since this is in the middle, it has to be 4 or a 6. 2 and 8 will be the extreme digits. Okay, 1 in this box has to be in this domino. So 1 is not here, 1 is not here, so 1 is here. And this will be a 2 4 or a 6 even digit, so 2 4 6, so which means this will be 8 9. What am I missing? This cell is sandwiched by even, so this has to be 1 or a 5, so this becomes a 5. This would be 3 7, and that 5 here gives me a 1 here, 9 here, 1 here, 3 here, 9 here. Just started a lot of digits. 5 7 5 7, so that puts the 1 here. Let's remove the stray pencil mark. Surface. Okay, row 6, the only cell left has to be odd. 7 9 1 3 5, so these would be 7 9. That becomes a 5 now. It becomes 7. 5 becomes 7. Okay, so 1 in column 7 has to go here. That puts a 9 here, and 9 here is 7 here, 7 here, 3 here. 3 goes in column 7 in this cell. Okay. These would be 3, 5, 7 for the row, and you have 3, 7 in column 5. So that's a 5, 3, 7. This has to be a 7 now. That would be a 3. Box 1, 5, 6 remaining digits. These would be 1, 7. And 1 here, right? So that's a 1, that's a 7. I have 5 odd in box 5, so that is an even. Okay, now I can't have even here because that would sandwich 3 in that row between even digits, right? Not possible, so that is odd. Row 4, column 3 has to be odd, which means it would be a 5 or a 9. So, okay, I have 5 odd digits in column 2, so the remaining cell has to be an even, so that is even. And the remaining cell in row 4 is odd. Okay, so now in column 1, the remaining cells would have to be odd because 4 have to be consecutively even. These are all odd. So that puts that this is 5 and this is 6. Oh wait, sorry. What did I do? This is odd. The other is not odd. That is a 5 now, which means this would be 6, and that makes it even. And now this would have to be even, right? Making it 8, making this 9, making this 5 by Sudoku, and this is odd, so let's mark it blue. And now we have marked every cell with colors. So right, and column 1, 4, 6 is sandwiched, so this is 4, 6, and this is 2, 4, 6, 4, 8, 4, 8. So look at this row, this has to be the 6, 2, 4, 2, 4, 2, 4, so this is 6, this would be 2, 4, this would be 2, 4, and 6 is not in this cell in column 3, so 6 goes here, which means that's 4, 8, 4, 2, 4, and it's all about finishing now. There's nothing in the Sudoku left, so that's 2, that's 4, that's 8. Let me rush through. 2 gives a 4 here, that's a 2. Finish off row 6 with 6, 8, 2, 6 and 9 in column row 4, so 9, 6, and just 2 4s are left. Now it's time to think, how do you finish off the Sudoku? Okay, look at this column. 2, 4 is sandwiched by even, 2 is sandwiched by even digits, so 2 cannot be in this cell, so that has to be a 4, meaning this is 2, 4, 2, 4, 2, 4, 2. And with that, we have completed this extremely impressive Sudoku by Ulrich Voigt. I have not enabled answer check, but I'm pretty sure this is the solution to this really gorgeous Sudoku. I know I took my own time completing this, but there are many interesting tricks in the Sudoku which I'm going to summarize again. If you see 2 even digits outside a row or a column, then 4 consecutive even digits will be in that row. If you see 3 odd digits outside a row or column, then even will always alternate all the 4 evens. And then if you see an odd digit and an even digit outside, then the pattern is even, odd, 3 evens, or 3 evens, odd and even. So these are the most important tricks that one could learn from this wonderful Sudoku by Ulrich. Thank you for watching. Please do leave a like and a comment if you enjoyed the video. We'll see you soon. Bye-bye.